Our YouTube, before we start, we actually gonna all participate in a mindful meditation practice, something real quick, just to calm the anxieties, you know what I'm saying? Get y'all real calm and chill so we can have this conversation and learn from each other. So the only stipulations, you could open your eyes, close your eyes, you could take deep breaths, regular breaths. Just want you to focus on your breath and just let everything flow. So we're gonna do that for about 10 seconds. All right, let's do it. All right, that's all the time. All right, so when we get started, first, I want to thank God for blessing us with another day. We here again with another mastermind. Let's clap it up. All right, let's get into it. First, coming from a woman perspective, what's some advice you would give to men to like maintain and build good relationships with a partner?
I would say communication is key, which is what everybody always say.
Yeah.
But in order to communicate, you also got to be able to listen. That's a big part of communicating. You don't even have to say anything. But if you're listening and you're comprehending and you're picking up what's being said, and then you turn around and, implement all that, then I feel like that's a big thing.
Okay, so communication. But listening is a little bit different because you actually got to shut up to listen. Not only you got to shut up through your mouth, you got to shut up in your head too. Because a lot of times we're listening to somebody listening
and still be talking in your head.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you really not picking up what they trying to tell you. So I believe that's big. And me coming from a man perspective, I feel like when it comes to women, advice I would give to women is to be more understanding. Like, you got to know that most men is not emotionally intelligent at all. A lot of women not emotionally intelligent, but for men don't really care to deal with their emotions like women do.
Yeah, and women just talk and they go on and go on about what's going on. And, if you're too busy talking, you can't listen. So everybody needs to listen. But definitely just wanting to communicate and be willing to communicate is a big thing.
Yeah, that's the biggest
As long as
part.
you want to talk, you can let stuff go and nobody talk about it, it never gets resolved. As long as you want to talk about it, then it's going to always be a solution to the problem.
And when you don't talk about it, it kind of like build up bad self internally without nothing being said. Then it's going to come out and splurge when it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where things go left. That's when relationships break apart, families break apart, because don't nobody want to talk about nothing. They don't want to hold them hard conversations.
Yeah, every time you bottle it up and let it stay bottled for so long and you explode, it'd be like, when you do explode, it's not only whatever current situation is going on, it's probably, who knows, 5 years worth of things that you've been holding in. So, yeah, it's definitely a big thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's big on that. Also, while we talking on that, what's some advice you would give to like young girls on living life? What things should they look out for? How should they conduct themselves? Because everybody gonna bump their head, but you don't want people to bump their head so hard to the point where now they not the same person no more. They lose their inner self. So what's some advice you would give to young girls?
What I would say to young girls is slow down. Don't be in a rush. And that's to do anything. Don't be in a rush to grow up. Don't be in a rush.
Conduct themselves, because everybody gonna bump their head, but you don't want people to bump their head so hard to the point where now they not the same person no more. They lose their inner self. So what's some advice you would give to young girls?
What I would say to young girls is be going and just listen to your parents, listen to your family. They're not telling you nothing wrong when they say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. There's a reason for that. Always be a lady. Always want to be a lady. Don't be out here trying to be outside, being rough, being tough. That's not for little girls. It's not for young ladies. If you want to be respected, act like you want to be respected. Have respect for yourself, number one. listen, pay attention, always go with your first mind and always use your brain. Don't listen to the little boys that's out here, trying to talk to you, persuade you to do something because, oh, such and such is doing it. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Respect yourself and be known for being a girl that was respected. That respected herself and gonna be known for being respected. Oh, we know, not to pull this with her. She respect herself too much. That's what you want to be known for. So that's the advice I got for young girls.
Yeah, I agree with that completely because that's why men treat women so badly, because when a man see a woman that don't got no respect for herself, how could you expect him to have respect for her?
Yeah,
that just don't work.
That's true.
Because you kind of like, you will be going out your way to have respect for her when she don't respect herself in general. So,
and it starts being young. It started at a young age. We get stuck in our ways. Don't get stuck, in that childlike mentality. If you stuck doing things that you were doing as a child, as a grown woman, now you're being childish. That's not what grown women do. So be known, or for being grown, being a lady, and
mature.
Respecting yourself, and then you'll get respect from men, women, and everybody else. You'll get respect from everybody because you respect yourself. Number one, you won't go for certain things. You won't be out here with your name out here bad because you done did this and that. Why? Because you respect yourself. So it's real simple, and it's easier said than done, but it can be done.
It definitely can. It just takes time. Just with everything takes time.
And I feel like that has a lot to play with little girls who grow up without a father. You grow up having to be tougher, feeling like you have to be tough. Why? Because you feel like you have to protect yourself. If nobody protects you, I got to be rough. And, with my Afro puffs, when you don't really have to be like that, which it is a cold world out here, and you definitely want to have your guards up at all times, but it's a limit to everything.
Yeah, you got to be gentle at the same time.
Be in your soft girl era as well as standing on business. There's nothing wrong because it's a balance between everything. You can find a middle factor in everything you do. So as long as you got that balance, okay, you don't have to just get walked over like a doormat.
Yeah.
But you also, you stand firm, you stand your ground, and stay true to what you believe. You'll be all right.
Absolutely. All right, let's get back to the men. How should, coming from a woman, how should a man treat a woman? Like, what are some of the key things he should look out for?
I feel like a man should treat a woman. We say, oh, treat the women how your mom, how you would treat your mom, or how your mom was treated. Totally different relationship. And who's to say that you've seen your mom in a great relationship? Right. You might have seen men mistreat your mom, and that might be why you think that it's okay to mistreat women. It's a respect thing, and it goes both ways. I say just always be respectful. When we get mad, we get heated, we say things. Once you squeeze the toothpaste out the jar, out the tube, you can't put it back in. So just always remember, the stuff that you say, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
And once that picture is painted, that's the way everything is gonna go. Once you start disrespecting a woman, and after that, and she gonna start disrespecting you, that's just what it's gonna be. Until we get back on track to, okay, let's be respectful of each other. Let's treat each other with respect. Let's be nice. Let's talk about what issues we have before we get to, going back and forth and all this and that. So just, it's levels to it, but just, treat somebody how you want to be treated. So it's not just a man thing or a woman thing. Treat people with respect. Talk to people how you want people to talk to you.
Yeah.
Words hurt. We can say words don't hurt all day long. Words hurt. The things people say hurt. It's a way that you say things. So your tone, your delivery, just always be, cool and calm with it. And I feel like it's not gonna go left if if you're not yelling and screaming. Conversation should go well because the other person can hear you. When somebody's yelling at me, I shut down. I can't understand. I can't comprehend. If you're yelling at me, I won't be able to take in what you're saying.
It's like you don't even want to understand what you're saying.
At this point, I don't even want to talk.
Too crazy.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk to you no more. Let's be respectful.
Yeah, and I think it first start with, you got to admit that you're wrong. Like, people don't want to admit that they wrong and be seen as the person that did the wrong and that's incompetent when it came to that.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, oh, it's embarrassing, or they got too much pride, and that's where we got to stop it right there.
Yeah.
You got to admit that you're wrong, because that's the only way you can move forward. Both people can't be right.
Yeah, pride is a thing. It's a big thing. It play a big factor. Not wanting to, you want to be the bigger person, but you don't want to feel like, you soft.
Yeah.
Everybody is on, so.
And that's all from an outside perspective. You can say that and believe, no, I'm not soft. I'm just saying this because that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have that type of internal confidence. Yeah. That be outside people perspectives talking about, oh, they soft for doing this, they soft for doing that. But that comes from their conditioning and how they think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't take heed to that either.
And what's the big deal? What's wrong with being soft with your lady? You're in a relationship. You should want to be soft. You should want to be, women are emotional, very emotional, way more emotional than men. It's okay to let me get soft with her and let her feel like I'm being empathetic to whatever she got to say. Mm-hmm. That'll make her feel better. Yeah. Now I'm like, okay, you listen to me, you hear me, I feel heard because you're being soft with me. You're not being rough or street or whatever you want to say. Just be cool and we can have an adult conversation. We can come to the solution and we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that just comes to that balance. You got to know when to be hard and when to be soft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, now we're going to get into something a little bit more deeper, more personal. Now, you know what I'm saying? You my big sister, and we both grew up to a certain point without our mother in our life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we ain't have fathers and stuff. We ain't have father figures, but the mother is like the most important piece because it shows you how to love, how to nurture, how to be soft. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And be okay with it. So for me personally, when it came to not having my mama, it was like when you don't have that love from your mom, you try to go out and look for that in every other area. And there was a point in time, like, I don't know, people that knew me knew I loved basketball more than anything in the world. You couldn't take me away from basketball. You couldn't tell me I was going to be something else. I was going to do something else. I was shutting you down immediately. And that's because I got so attached to basketball because I didn't feel the love that I wanted from my mother at an early age. Mm-hmm. So I tried to cling on to everything. Yeah. Nah, this what I'm going to do. Nah, this what I'm going to do.
So you feel like you use basketball as an outlet?
Yeah.
Or,
kind of. Yeah, like an outlet to you feel me, feel a part of something.
Mm-hmm. Or this is the one thing that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm going to stick to.
Yeah, exactly. And when she came back into my life, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't say it was rocky, but it was just, I've been without her for so long that now I want to be around her every single moment. She can't tell me, nah, you got to go over here. You got to go over here. I want to be around you every single moment. Yeah.
Just because, and I feel like that's where attachment issues come from. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, okay, I want to be attached to you at the hip because who's to say, I'm going to have this moment forever, or exactly. I'm going to be able to, have you mm-hmm. around all the time.
Yeah.
Who knows that? So now I want to be attached, or, it can give you attachment issues in a way as maybe I just detach from everybody. Maybe I don't want to be close to nobody. Maybe I don't want to feel, because I'm so mm-hmm. used to not feeling love.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel love. I'm scared. I'm running away from that because, everybody knows nothing lasts forever. So
yeah.
if I find something that I love, who's to say that that's going to last,
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you that type of attachment issue.
Yeah. And you have to really go without in order to cherish what you got anyway.
Yeah.
So people grew up with their mamas their whole life and then be having rocky conversations and rocky relationships.
Mm-hmm. And go without speaking and, I don't care. And then just say their mom passed away. Now you got this void that you'll mm-hmm. never be able to feel when you had the opportunity to have the relationship with your parents. So,
mm-hmm. yeah. So with me saying that, how did that affect you growing up? Because you was a lot older than me. You was in like high school. Until that point, she got clean and came back into our lives when I was like 7. Mm-hmm. So she probably was like 42 or something like that, and you was a little bit older. So how did that affect you? Because there's a lot of people out here who don't got no mama.
Yeah. Okay, so with you being younger and, you probably felt like I went all this time without her. We were older, so it was spurts in, moments back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But when she first, came back around, and I wanted to believe like, okay, it's for good.
Yeah.
But it's so many times that I
was.
felt like it was for good, and it
Mhm.
wasn't.
Yeah.
But I just always was like, I'm gonna keep giving you chances. Why not? You're my mom. So I just was hoping and wanting it to be true, and wanting it to be, like, hey, let's start from here where we start to build our relationship. Once I seen like, okay, a lot of time that went by, okay, I think that's what it is. It made me feel good. But growing up, I was always angry. I was always upset, just because I felt like my life wasn't fair. If I didn't ask to be here, why do I have to live like this? Or you know what I'm saying? Or why can't I have what I want? Because I'm a kid.
Mhm.
Kids don't understand. So why can't I have my mom to come pick me up and take me here and take me there? Or I'm with my friends and I'm hanging out at their house with their family, eating dinner with them. They have a mom and a dad.
Mhm.
So I would say I knew what it was like to not have it. Because I can't say I knew what it was like to have it, because that was their family. It wasn't my family. But I knew what it was like to not have the mom there all the time. And
Right.
it wasn't a good feeling. It was nothing that I was gonna sit up and cry about all the time, because I couldn't do nothing about it. But it wasn't, life goes on. But when you're a kid, sometimes we live fast and we don't really understand how it affects us till we get older. Then we go and look back like, I can see that's why I was acting like that. That's why I was doing that. Because I was always angry. I was always mad. Like, this shouldn't be me. This shouldn't be my situation. Why this got to be me? Why does this person got their mama to take them grocery shopping and pick out candies and toys, and I don't have that. So I feel like I missed out.
Built up envy.
Definitely feel like I missed out on a lot. But then again, like, now that I'm older, like, now my mom is my best friend. I talk to her all the time. The first thing I do when I wake up, we calling each other phones. So, I'm just grateful that now she is, here to stay around for as long as, God allows it to be possible.
Yeah.
I'm just happy now that we, it's never too late to start over. So I'm just glad we got that chance.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was a lesson in that also. Like, looking back on it, yeah, you would say she was here, she wasn't here. It was on and off. But just realizing that she went through all that and she actually changed her life completely around, did a whole 180. It gave me more confidence in myself to, like, all right, I come from a warrior. I come from
you can overcome anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll never be defeated. We, might have felt like, okay, life is over. Life is, this is the end.
Yeah.
But it's not really as bad as it seemed. And even though she wasn't around all the time, you know what I'm saying, and we have her now, it's some people that never knew their mom at all. Exactly. Mom died early on. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So you just got to be grateful for what you do have. And I'm always grateful for what I do have. And I'm grateful for the things I don't have. When she wasn't there, I was grateful that I still was being, able to be raised by my family. I still was able to still be home. I wasn't able, I wasn't in a foster home, stuff like that. I think about all the time. People don't really have happy endings. It's very rare that you have a happy ending when you go to foster care and you end up with different families. It's no telling what happened to these kids. And a lot of kids come and cry out about their stories, and you be like, man, I'm just glad that wasn't me. So
yeah, it could have always been worse.
Mm-hmm.
Could have always been worse.
Definitely.
So that's one of the reasons I just don't complain, and I don't like people who complain, because it could always be a lot worse, and somebody next door to you got it much worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, it's ups and downs, and things happen that we don't like. But we always got to take a step back and really realize and appreciate what we got that we may not have tomorrow, or, you know what I'm saying, in the future.
Because now we finally got that chance. We finally got that relationship. What if, you know how sometimes it'd be like right when you're finna get something, it gets snatched away?
Yeah.
What if we was about to build that relationship and then it's like, now it's gone completely forever?
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel sorry for the people who don't have a mom, because you'll never, know what that constant feeling of love feels like.
Yeah.
Or that constant feeling of security, like, oh my God, when I feel like my life falling apart, let me call my mama.
Mm-hmm.
She might not have all the answers, but it just makes me feel good that I know that I can call her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that mother love is something different. Like she going to bat for you, even if you did the worst type of thing.
Yeah.
She going to bat for you. She gonna be on your side.
That's
always.
One person that's always on your side, no matter what happened, what you do. You know, that's always somebody you can depend on.
Yeah, wrong or right.
And for the people that don't have good relationships with their mom, I would say if it's fixable, please fix it. If it's fixable, I know it's some situations where, you know, it's beyond that point. That I completely understand that, because foul is foul.
Yeah.
You can't love people who don't love you, and you can't always forgive them and have them in your life if it's not a respect thing, you know, because we are all adults at this point. So, but if it's fixable, I would fix it.
Absolutely, with not just with your mom, with any of your family members that you can see a flame being rekindled, that you can even see the potential of that. Go ahead and act on it.
I would fix it
for sure.
Because we think we got time. Oh, I'll talk to such and such whenever. We'll get around to being cool one day, and then something happens, and you gonna always feel like, man, I wish I would have just did something sooner. That's the feeling I don't want to feel. Yeah, I wish I would have just reached out and just, you know, said something sooner. No, I don't want to. Let's just do it now while we got time, or while we think we got time. Let's handle it now.
Absolutely. With that being said, I'm going to get into this next topic of how, now, of course, dealing with trauma when it comes to every individual is much different. But people can take heed to certain things that people use to deal with their trauma. So what are some things that you use to deal with yours?
I like to write. I'll write it down in my notebook.
Me too.
I'll write it down. Or even if because, you know, I'm the person that I would rather not talk about it to people. I'll talk to my friends, you know, a certain extent of things, but you know, I don't want to talk. I just rather, I feel like peace when I'm by while I'm by myself. I'll talk to myself, you know, a lot or whatever. So, you know, I'll put it down in my notes, or I'll write it down, and I might write it down and rip it up and throw it away, you know, because as long as I get it out, then I'm cool. As long as I've released it, then it's like, okay, you know, I can let that go. I don't want to keep thinking about it. I don't want it living rent free in my head. You know, I want to deal with it, and I want to move on.
Yeah, that's just a way of expressing yourself. And I did the same. I used to have notebooks for days, and I just write the date on my notebook, and then I just go.
Keep going. Yeah. So it's not like I don't have a diary, so I don't write in my diary on a daily basis. But when there's certain things, you know, I might write it out, say how it played out, what happened, how I feel, and then I'm moving on to the next thing.
Yep. I would say another way I dealt with trauma was, actually, I don't like talking to people either. It has to be a certain type of person. I have to be able to trust you with this information. But I do like to have them conversations with, like, my brother or my best friend, and they allow you to see a different perspective of it.
Yeah.
And then y'all start to peel back the layers, and you start to understand more. And when you start to peel back the layers of your trauma, you start to realize that it won't affect you like you think it will affect you. When you get to the very root of it, you be like, wow, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the reason I feel this way. And then once you feel that, it's like a switch go off.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm not, you know how Black people think, oh, therapy is taboo. I'm not opposed to therapy, which, you know, I used to think, like, I don't want to go and talk to no stranger, having no stranger looking at me and like, oh my God, at everything that I got to say. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I feel like now that I'm older, it's like something that I'll give a try. But right now, where I am, I feel like I don't need it. Like, you know, it's doable, but I feel like
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary, and that's just because I write and I read. You know what I'm saying? And I teach myself things. I'm learning things, so it's like I feel more therapeutic that way.
Right.
You know, a therapist, you know, is gonna go by the book of, you know, these key points.
Yeah.
You know, to help you deal with your things, and I feel like I can read that same thing and go from there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel the same way.
And then I feel like the more that I'm learning, it helps me to deal with certain things more, you know, better. You know, you know, reading is really fundamental, but when you teach yourself things and you learn to get out of self, to get out of thinking that everything is about you. Some things are not about you, a lot of things are not about you.
Yeah.
It's just how it works. It's just how you got dealt this hand. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say like, trying to sound harsh about it, but everything happened for a reason. I really do believe that. When you learn why things may have happened, or when you learn who you are and you learn how to deal with who you are and how to be better and become better, I feel like that helps you along the way and keep you pushing.
I feel like that's fundamental to change your life. You got to know who you are first.
Yeah.
Because then once you know who you are, you don't even got to look for the answers no more. You know
exactly
as long
as you figured out, I'm still figuring out who I am. So it's like, as long as you take that step, you will be okay and you'll get better. Everything will be better. It'll feel better.
Yeah.
You won't dwell on certain things. You won't be stuck in certain places because we got a long way to go. You got a lot of ways to grow. You never stop learning. So as long as you're willing to learn, and we got to stop taking things personally and thinking about it only from our perspective. Think about it from the other perspective. Think about it from several different perspectives. Mm-hmm. Whatever, I hope you understand. Like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It'll be, it'll be better for everybody.
That's big because you realize it's not all that. It's not all I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, and then when it comes to trauma, as well, you got to be able to forgive. That's the only way that you'll move on from the things that are bothering you. If you don't forgive and you hold resentment to certain people, you're giving people these power to live rent free in your head. Mm-hmm. You're giving people the power to be on your mind all the time. They are low-key winning because you're giving them the power to win. Yep. If I forgive you, I don't have to deal with you no more, but as long as I forgive you and I wipe my hands clean, that's it. It's over with. We don't have to keep going back and forth about it. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like, and I used to be a take it to the grave person. Yeah. I'm a Gemini. I used to be a take it to the grave. It's still, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still trying to get out of that. But the more you grow and you learn, like, I can forgive you without having to deal with you no more ever again, mm-hmm. then you'll be okay.
Yeah. You'll be all right. And you got to forgive yourself too.
Yeah. Definitely got to forgive. And forgive yourself for taking so long to forgive somebody else. Because after you forgive somebody, you be feeling good. Like, why didn't I do this a while ago? Like, I didn't have to hold on to this.
Yeah.
It's taking years off my life by being angry and being full of anger. Exactly. Why didn't I do this sooner? You'll feel so much better.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It's like, it's detrimental to your life. Mm-hmm. When you hold on to all that anger, you hold on to them grudges.
Without even knowing.
Yeah.
Without even knowing. You don't even realize.
Because you ain't consulted it with yourself. You just let it, you was like, all right,
pushed it to the back burner. Mm-hmm. And like, oh, I'm going to forget. No, you're not going to forget about it because your subconscious is going to always be there. Yeah, you're going to dream about it. Mm-hmm. It might be every blue moon, but that thought is going to be back there somewhere until you bring it to the forefront, you deal with it, and you move on.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about women empowerment.
Okay.
I want women to realize this. To me, well, I know this for a fact. Women is more important to this world than a man is. Simply because without a man, life can't go on. We can't have kids. We can't, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But a man has a mind. A woman has a mind also, but a woman has a womb too. Mm-hmm. So not only can she bring forth ideas into reality, she can nurture them ideas and nurture the energy and the spirit.
And help them ideas come to life.
Exactly. So it's women that I feel like is the most important when it comes to all these movements and all these things. They always got men at the forefront talking and men around the big table. You know what I'm saying? But if you would add more women into the bunch, you'll see that different perspective. You'll see that more balanced and more nurturing spirit that they bring.
From both point of views.
Yeah, that you won't get from a man. You know what I'm saying? Men just want to go back and forth, idea for idea, pride for pride.
It's an ego thing and it's a competition thing.
Exactly. And women came a long way.
I'm seeing a lot of things that are being pushed by women. I see a lot of women with podcasts now and a lot of women, bringing up topics and bringing up things that need to be talked about. Because women have always been not treated equally, but Black women especially have been treated the worst. In this whole ordeal that we've been dealing with. So
a lot of people don't know that Black people is responsible for a lot of these inventions and things that you feel like these countries that made all these achievements.
They not gonna, if you don't read and you don't learn and figure it out, they're not gonna tell you that it was you that created this. They don't want you to know what your power and your ability is. Because we started this, and we don't end with us regardless. But we started this. As long as they don't allow you to know who you really are, then you're gonna always stay stuck and stagnant. And then, like when you was talking about how, women and men together, and without a man, you can't have kids and all this and that. And then you think about how they always want to take the man out of the home, how it's always kids growing up without fathers because they either dead or incarcerated. And this is just Black families, but in general, it's always a split between the family, whether the family is white, Black, or whatever. It's always a split. Once mom and dad divorce, the whole family dynamic is thrown. It's down the drain. Now the kids are off doing this because they're mad and they're lashing out. Why? Because that's traumatic to kids. It's not normal to not have a family. It's not normal to not have two parent households. It's not normal. Why do we have 10 different people under the same roof? Or why do we have uncle this and auntie this? And that's not what it's supposed to be. Mom, dad, and kids. A real family. That's something a lot of people missed out on, and they might not never, unless you create that family for yourself, you'll never be able to deal with it. And I will say women are really empowered now. And you always get the strong Black woman thing, or just women in general, but you got to think about everything that we've been through, so when women get to that independent stage in their life, you don't necessarily want to be independent because you don't want to need a man. The society may want you to feel strong and independent to not need a man, but you shouldn't want, I could be a strong woman and be strong and independent with my partner.
Absolutely.
I don't have to, we can always work together as a team. It don't have to be a competition
thing. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a build each other up, play your role type of thing.
And I feel like society wants women to feel so independent that they don't need a man, don't want a man, which I know the relationship thing right now is kind of like crazy. You scared of a relationship just because of how society, the internet is an issue. It's a problem. It plays a factor in relationships. It plays a factor in the children growing up today, and just women in general. Everybody's like, we're pushing for women. I'm a woman all day long pushing for women, but I'm not pushing for women to be alone. Why do we want to be single moms? Which we know we can do it. We know we can do it by ourselves, but why would we want to? Why should we have to? And that's where men, should step up. And women, it's okay to step down. Let the man lead. And it's not a lot of submissive women.
But I say it's not a lot of submissive women because there's not a lot of men out here that you can submit to.
And that's what I was getting to next. Why would I let you lead me? And I don't and I don't know where you're gonna lead me to. I can't do that. I can't submit to that. That's like nonsense. But don't feel so independent and so powerful that you don't give nobody a chance. Like they can't break through the barrier to be able to, not control you, but to be able to lead you, to be able to work with you. They might be low-key scared of you or intimidated by you. Why? Because you're such a strong woman. Nothing wrong with being a strong woman, but it's a balance. Like I said before, it's a balance between everything.
Absolutely.
It's a balance. Women know our power. We know our power. We know, it's a lot. We're creators. We bring life, So we're going to always be up here when it comes to everything. But that, it's okay to be powerful and to be independent, but you should always want somebody to sit right next to you.
And it's time for men to realize how powerful women is.
And respect them. And it's a respect thing both ways, but women deserve the respect.
Because they've been the most disrespected.
And they've been overwhelmed because if you're a stay-at-home mom, the kids are the job. But if you're going to work, and then you're coming home and the kids are the job. Now you're working twice.
Yep.
And, men may not realize,
Mm-hmm.
how that affects women. Like, you got to help out, or don't just always look for mommy to do this and do that. Can we help mommy out? Can we get mommy a break?
Mm-hmm.
Can we, because men is like mama's baby daddies, maybe, like they always say. The kids are automatically going to gravitate to mom and run to mom when she comes home. Oh, mommy, I want you to do it. Why? Because that's what they used to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a balance. It got to be a balance. We got to.
Yeah, men, you got to assert yourself when it comes to that. You want to have a relationship with your kids. Your
step
mama,
up.
Yeah, your mama, the mother can go out and do what she needs to do, and you could still be here and still be the man of the house, the forefront of the house. Your kids still look up to you like, daddy gonna do this, daddy gonna do that, daddy gonna,
It don't always be, oh, go ask mama. No.
Yeah.
They ask you, come with an answer.
Take initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Closing statement. I want men to realize that all these women out here that's so angry, so mad, because they feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders, and that's because they don't have no men at home to rely on.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It's like, where's the support?
Yeah, they don't got no men to take care of the things that need to be taken care of, like the house, the money, the direction of the family. That's up to the men. That's us. You know what I'm saying? They gonna do their job regardless, but it's up to us to do our job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There won't be so many angry, aggressive, masculine women. That's terrible for the future. That's terrible for the family.
Horrible, because it's and then I think we got to get out of gender roles as well. Like, I think we got to get out of gender roles, because women won't support. If I'm going to work and I still got to come home and cook and clean and all this and that, support me while doing that. If I cook, wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I wash, fold the clothes. We just got to help each other out.
Yeah.
And we can't get stuck in those gender roles. Like, oh yeah, the woman has to cook and clean and do all this. Okay, well, back then when your grandma was cooking and cleaning, she didn't have to work.
Yeah.
That was their job, to take care of the household. Now look at the expense of living. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to work as well as come take care of the house. So we got to be supportive while doing that.
Mm-hmm. You got to play our role.
We can't be stuck in those gender roles. Oh, the woman has to cook and clean and all this and that.
Yeah. It's
women love a man that can cook. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like everybody got their role to play, but it don't have to be like a strict, stagnant role. You don't have to just
because society says no. We don't listen to society, and that's people's problem. Stop listening to the internet. Stop listening to what other people say. Only you can do what works for you.
Yeah, and what works for you don't work for everybody else, and what works for everybody else don't work for you.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say? Any closing statements before we end the mastermind?
Hey, we're gonna wrap it up. I mean, today was a good session. It was a good topic or whatever. Mm-hmm. Communication is the key. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the whole thing.
I got you.
Communication is the thing. Talk, listen, and go from there.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. That's it for this mastermind. We're gonna see y'all on the next one. We gone.